This is the Asus ROG 3. It's the most powerful Android phone we've ever tested, and it foreshadows many of the features we'll see on Android smartphones in 2021. I should say up front that this video isn't a full review, but rather an in-depth hands-on. Asus lent us a pre-production ROG 3 with pre-production software. In fact, the final software is due out on the same day this video comes out. That said, there's a lot to talk about, and let's start with those specs: a Snapdragon 865 Plus processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, a 6,000 milliamp-hour battery, a 6.59-inch AMOLED display with 144 Hz refresh rate, a triple rear camera with a 64 megapixel main camera, 8K video, 5G mid-band support. Blah! It's got all the specs, and all of them are impressive. But perhaps the most impressive thing Asus did was to make the new ROG 3 exactly the same size and shape as last year's ROG 2, meaning it can take full advantage of all the numerous accessories Asus makes for the ROG phones. This also means that the ROG 3 is the same chunky behemoth when it comes to using it. It weighs over half a pound, which if you're a small phone lover, just stay away. It's gonna horrify you. But that heft feels good, especially when I'm playing games. Now, there are some differences in the bodies of the ROG 3 and ROG 2. Namely, there's no headphone jack on the ROG 3 unless you use the fan attachment. Also, it has a bigger camera bump. Style-wise, the ROG 3 looks sleek, even a touch understated compared to the ROG 2. The copper heatsink sits now under a transparent sliver of Gorilla Glass 3 on the back. It's kind of like how Lamborghini uses a glass cover over their engines. But let's talk about what you really care about, which is performance. And that's where the ROG 3 leaves all other Android phones in the dust. The combination of the 865 Plus processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, though there is a 12 gigabyte version too, and UFS 3.1 storage makes this an absolute performance monster. When I put the phone into X mode, it's not only faster than every Android phone we've tested this year, I can honestly use it for long periods of time for gaming without that performance dipping. And when I'm not gaming, apps open up fast, animations are buttery smooth, and when you add all this together with that 144 Hz refresh rate screen, everything about this phone makes the rest of my world seem slow. The ROG 3 is peppy and fast, and it's absolutely addictive having this kind of performance in my fingertips. But let's go back to that 144 Hz refresh rate. First, it's near impossible to show how alive this screen looks on video, but it is compelling. The ROG 3 isn't the first phone to have a 144 Hz screen, but we'll likely see this refresh rate come to other Android flagship phones next year. It's the same way we see 90 Hz and 120 Hz displays on phones coming out this year, which the ROG and ROG 2 had first. But let's talk about the screen's quality. The 6.5-inch AMOLED is good, but it still has an HD resolution, which sometimes, well, I wish text would appear more crisp. The screen has a touch rate of 270 Hz, which, I'll be honest, that is impossible to show on video, even more so than the 144 Hz refresh rate. But in use, especially in games, screen controls felt peppy. I never felt like I was tapping, waiting for a gun to fire or a jump to happen. And if the on-screen controls aren't enough, there is the third generation of air triggers, which let you use the sides of the phone like the shoulder buttons on a game controller. You can assign on-screen controls to either of the air triggers, which in a game like PUBG Mobile makes gameplay much more compelling, being able to use my phone like an actual game controller. And this is where that 6,000 milliamp hour battery comes to play. In a year where we see a lot of phones with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, the extra milliamp hours allow the ROG 3 to have all this performance without sacrificing battery life. In fact, I ran a looped video test at 50% brightness in airplane mode, and the ROG 3 lasted 24 hours and 3 minutes. And that was with the screen refresh rate set to 144 Hz. While we still have more tester runs, that result is impressive. Now, obviously, when gaming, it's not gonna last 24 hours straight, but I had no problem making it through a 2.5-hour gaming marathon, playing PUBG Mobile, Asphalt 9, Alto's Odyssey. Yeah, Asus also gives you a variety of ways to optimize your battery, including various power and savings modes, letting you schedule when the power mode comes on, and allowing you to set battery charge limits. In fact, this Asus ROG 3 has the most extensive options for battery care and longevity that I've seen on any phone. While gaming is no doubt the ROG's main focus, this is also a 5G phone and will work on US carriers that offer sub-6 5G. Now, I wasn't able to test the ROG 3 on 5G because of where I live, but I'm excited to see how the battery handles to those demands. Before I talk about the cameras, I want to say that the ROG 3 makes solid tweaks and improvements to pretty much everything software-wise. It runs Android 10 with the Asus Zen UI, though there is the gamers-inspired ROG UI dark mode too. That's the one I picked. The Aero Active Cooler, aka the detachable fan, now has a kickstand, and just like other ROG phones, there is a second USB-C port / accessory port on the left side for horizontal gameplay. The ROG 3 comes with a 30-watt charger, and you get 3 months of Google Stadia Pro for free. Now, not everything's rosy with the ROG 3. In fact, it doesn't have IP rating for dust or water resistance, and it lacks wireless charging. It'd be nice to have those. Now let's talk about the cameras, which are decent. In fact, I would say this is the best camera array on any Asus ROG phone to date. Now, it's not going to be named best camera of 2020 or even close. Photos from the main camera look good, especially with HDR. Skin is smoothed a bit more than I'd prefer, and colors skew a tad magenta. There's also a night mode, which actually produces some stellar shots. The ultra-wide-angle camera is solid and matches the main camera more so than last year's ROG 2, meaning the visual difference in IQ is not as noticeable between the main and ultra-wide cameras. And then there's the macro camera, which is fun, but I don't know, feels a bit more like a gimmick. The selfie camera on the front is decent. Again, there's a lot of skin softening happening, but portrait mode selfies actually look pretty decent. Impressively, the ROG 3 can shoot 8K video. In some situations, it looks pretty good, but there's a lot of banding in skies or in shooting in low light situations. Also, do you really need 8K on your phone? The 4K video from the phone looks good, but still suffers from banding. Now, this could be improved through software updates, and that's again why this is not a full review. In fact, I look forward to checking this out and see if that is a fix they issue in the future. Finally, let's talk about price. At the time I'm recording this video, Asus hasn't announced a price yet. If it's the same as last year's $900 Asus ROG 2, I'd have no hesitation recommending it. Heck, with the 5G support, I could see this being a $1,000 phone easily. Now, the Asus ROG 3 will likely be available in the US this fall. So that's all I got. For more on the Asus ROG 3, check out my article on CNET.com. But I want to hear from you. What do you think of the phone? Would you buy it? Does it have all the specs you were hoping for? Throw your thoughts in the comments.